Your mama's so ugly she threw a boomerang and it never came back.
Your mama's so ugly the plastic surgeon sued her.
Your mama's so ugly they renamed Halloween Yo Mama Ween.
Your mama's so ugly she made a mime screen.
Ni mama hao shou yang chong ya ke lei.
Energy, focus, control. Amp energy, amp yourself.
So what version are you gonna get, dude?
I'll probably get the 360 version.
Dude, get the PS3 version. Looks better, dude.
No, it doesn't.
Dude, it's the magics of the fucking power of the PS3.
Whatever, dude. I just can't wait to play that shit next week.
Dude, it's so close.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Too bad I gotta work.
I got a little something in my
Talking
sleeve.
about. That shit's not gonna work. Are you kidding me?
Dude, Oscar worthy. I swear, like, I'll just be like, Damien, dude, I gotta. I'm dying here.
Dude, he is not gonna fall for that shit. I don't know what you're thinking.
Why not?
Dude, I saw Richard limping down the hall, dude. Everybody's gonna be gone next week? Come on.
Just watch. Just watch.
Give me a break, man.
Cough, cough, sick, oh, excuse me. Sorry everybody, I'm coughing, I'm sick. Hear the cough? I need some more of my sore throat drops here. Gonna pop one of these guys in. Here we go. Fuck. Fucking A, man. Fucking. Okay, this one's gonna do it. Okay, well, I'm gonna get one of these in. Cough. All right, back to work. Back to work.
I don't wanna go to work today. Wanna stay home and play all my video games on the One Up Show. You know you'll be a star on the One Up Show. You already are. Every day, this life's a holiday. One up, 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 one up on the One Up Show. One up, 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 one up on the One Up Show.
How much of Confrontation is sort of being developed specifically for the fans, like with that sort of fan service in mind?
Well, I think that when we were looking at Confrontation, we wanted to identify what people really resonated with in the previous games. People were really into the urban environments, the tight feel of them. When the environment started to get bigger and we added vehicles, it sort of took away from some of those elements. And so it's not as much trying to recreate a previous experience as much as it is really analyzing the previous games, what worked well, what people picked up on, what people really enjoyed, and then moving those to sort of a next-gen SOCOM experience.
Do you anticipate doing any other maps from the previous games?
Well, we're looking into it. I think that we want to see how the game does with the current maps that we're going to be releasing, gauge consumer feedback, how much they like, Crossroads, which is based off an older map, versus some of the newer maps that we're doing, and then just really look at the response that we get from people and see what the interest level is for doing more classic maps.
How many maps are you planning on shipping with? Do you know yet?
Right now, we're looking at 7 maps.
Okay. You've talked about the possibility of downloadable content. I mean, do you have any kind of plans in place for any kind of schedule, like how frequently you expect to release stuff?
Yes, that's something that is very important to this project as well, and we do have a schedule in place. We're trying to have some sort of update about once a month is our goal, and then a larger amount of content about every 3 months. So that's our current plan, and we already have some things in development for the post-deployment support already started.
Have you talked at all about pricing or anything like that in terms of both the initial product and then the downloadable content?
Yeah, we're not ready to announce pricing yet. We're still evaluating that. But I think that it's comparing it to Warhawk is a fair comparison.
Where are you at this point in the project? Like, what are you kind of focusing most on with regard to kind of the overall game?
Well, a lot of it has been trying to define that gameplay experience, and a big part of that was getting up with 32 players up and running with all the core movement sets, with all the core basic weapon types, and then trying to optimize the performance to get it to a place where you can play it and get a good feel for the game. All the things like clans, tournament support, as well as additional levels that are in the pipeline being developed. So, everything's going along in parallel.
Is there any kind of perception of value with regard to downloadable content? Do you think that people are unwilling to pay more for downloadable content, or that don't consider it like kind of on par with a retail product?
I think that is one of the challenges, and that's one of the things we look at. It's kind of disheartening how little people value maps. I think it's the biggest addition that you can do to a game, and yet the price expectation is so low, and the amount of resources that it takes to go in and create a map from design, art, audio, all these different aspects, the cost is very high. I think when we start getting into downloadable content, that's one of the biggest challenges.
Is there any kind of conflict with retail?
We do try with the retail SKU to have a premium. So, we're looking at, we have a Blu-ray disc. There's lots of extra space on it. We can add in exclusive movies and those type of behind-the-scenes content, as well as the retail version having a headset bundled with it. So I think that there's definite value of buying the retail version of the game over the PSN version of the game. But at the same time, some people really like the convenience of the PSN version. They like getting it right away. They like not having to put a disc in order to play it. So you have another group of people who just care more about the game and not some of these extras or other things they may get in the PSN titles, the perfect version for them.
What kind of challenges do you encounter as a studio who's kind of picking up this very popular franchise and putting your own spin on it?
Right off the bat, as soon as we heard the word SOCOM, we were really excited. And there's a lot of fans, and I personally have played a ton of SOCOM. The enormity of what fans expect from the franchise and how passionate and involved the fans are is this huge amount of expectation and love for the franchise. And people, they want everything. They want it exactly the same as it always was. They want tons of innovation. They want it now. The spirit of SOCOM 1 and 2, that is sort of the guiding principle that we use kind of as our razor when we're debating a lot of design decisions. We stay close to that.
There was initially talk about destructible environments, which was I think sort of misinterpreted when it was made known that there were destructible elements of the environments.
We did some technology tests where we were just testing the idea of blowing holes in walls and doing things like that, but they really quickly break the flow and the intended design of a map. So we have highly destructible cover. We have lots of different kinds of props that break, and we have bullet penetration. So you put that together, and suddenly places that were safe in a very static world are not safe, and it really changes the play, changes your strategy.
You guys have this calendar, this online calendar where you're going to be able to schedule tournaments and stuff. I mean, can you explain that a little bit?
I mean, what we realized was that it's a totally online, totally competitive game with all these apart from the custom rooms where you just make your own games and do whatever you like. there are all of these ladders and tournaments and challenges to play. So really a lot of it's about scheduling, like how many upcoming games you have, and there may be special types of tournaments that are put on, or sort of a big tournament can break out into a lot of different games to play. It looks like a calendar, and you can just see every one of your upcoming matches on the calendar, and then they alert you and so forth.
And you guys will you'll be putting up like official tournaments and kind of like regular sponsored type stuff.
That sounds like an interesting idea.
And then you're also using the 6-axis for cover stuff.
To the extent that you're using cover in the game, you use the 6-axis. And when you're at stop, the 6-axis lets you lean the body, which was done in previous SOCOMs with a D-pad, I believe. But this is much more precise. And it also has a vertical component of stance. But you can use it anywhere. The better I get with that, the quicker I can. So it's an interesting addition to the game. There's some new stuff in there for sure. There's a lot of new stuff that is evolutionary and some revolutionary. But I think that for those really hardcore fans that are scared of change, I think they'll be okay.
You said the ship can resist heat. The ship can resist heat. But if it enters the sun.
Dude. Oh my god. I feel like I'm dying. It's not cool, dude. Oh my god. I'm just like nauseous and my throat's all fucked up and I'm like pounding these wallboards and not doing shit. And naturals.
You have a headache?
All the above, dude.
You should get some head on. You apply it directly to the forehead.
I don't even. Oh, okay.
Apply it directly to the forehead.
Okay. But I'm just telling you, the way this is going, I should just really stay out for a while. I just don't want to get you guys sick. Right. I'm really concerned about you guys.
I think that's a good idea.
I just want to make sure that everyone's safe,
Now, how are you going to be standing out there in the cold at 11:59 p.m. on Monday night, picking up your GTA 4 pre-order?
Oh, that's coming out this week?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I suppose I could pick it up for you and just hold on to it until you're back on your feet. Maybe like next Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, that would maybe work.
Right.
Probably very good.
Yeah. All right, man. I need you to go head out there and make some more videos.
All right.
Yeah.
I could maybe manage that. Actually, I'm starting to feel a little bit better from our talk. You're very motivational.
Keep making
Thank
videos.
You.
Your mama's so ugly she threw a boomerang and it never came back.
Your mama's so ugly the plastic surgeon sued her.
Your mama's so ugly they renamed Halloween Yo Mama Ween.
Your mama's so ugly she made a mime screen.
Ni mama hao show yang chong ya ke lei.
Energy, focus, control. Amp energy, amp yourself.
Stage 3.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of Space Invaders' quality, of just how good the remake is, that everyone's been in bloody fistfights about it. I was going to try to get Nick to put me on the review, but I went over to talk to him, and then Donahoe was like, "Why haven't you put me on the Space Invaders review?"
You wouldn't think Space Invaders would be like the hotly requested review of the year, but it's pretty addictive. I find myself playing on the bus every day.
It's like they played Medios and Luminous and said, "Wow, that's how we should do Space Invaders," and they did, and it worked.
they didn't overcomplicate it. I mean, they added 4 power-ups and a few new types of enemies and bosses, but within that limited rubric, it mixes it up so much, surprises you. Like the behaviors from the invaders are really unexpected, and the game constantly surprises you and kind of fucks with your head, because of your expectations.
It takes those few elements and just constantly revises them and reworks them, and then throws in some things you don't expect from a Space Invaders game. Like at the end of a set number of missions, all of a sudden you're up against a boss, and the boss is almost like fighting a Gradius ship because it has a core in the middle, and you're trying to chip away little things around the core and destroy that.
I mean, they're almost like Nintendo Zelda style bosses where there's a specific thing you have to do. Like sometimes you have to use a certain power up to beat it, and if you die in that boss, you lose all your men. You have to start at the very beginning. So there's a serious incentive to do it. Other things that surprise you, like the random little levels you'll get to if you hit a flashing UFO, and there'll be a specific task you have to do to complete that level. And if you successfully do it, you get this crazy power up that just makes you super strong for several waves. It makes it really easy. So it's a great risk reward.
Round completed. Fever time. Jackpot.
Well, the weapons are really cool too. Like they're things you don't necessarily expect. There's kind of like a super triple beam, and then there's the laser, which you just hold down and it destroys everything in your path. But then, you'll be fighting along and thinking, wow, I'm kicking ass. And then all of a sudden, a UFO will stop at the top of the screen, and it'll use those weapons against you.
Or some enemies have shields against laser that will deflect it back at you.
Right. They'll just stop above you and try to crush you by dropping straight at you.
Yeah, there's also the fire bombs, which are great, and you can get a shield as well. Soundtrack, especially on the PSP, they got these crazy DJs to remix the music, and it's very kind of avant-garde and futuristic.
That goes hand in hand with the sort of flashy, stroby, neon style that really... It makes the game a lot more visually exciting, but at the same time, it doesn't make it too busy, it doesn't make it messy, it's not hard to keep up with what's happening.
Have you been playing on PSP or DS?
DS.
On PSP, the backgrounds are FMV, and they can be a little crazy. You can turn them off. I usually leave them on, but they sometimes there's a lot going on there. So there's branching paths. If you do really well, you get high grades, then you can choose a more difficult level, which I thought was cool, because it really makes you want to replay the previous levels again.
Well, this version of Space Invaders and the remake of Arkanoid are kind of the same beast, and the branching paths is something that Arkanoid did in the past.
Right.
So it's kind of like there's this cross-pollination. I mean, in some ways, the new Space Invaders almost feels a little bit like Arkanoid at times, just because there are so many power-ups dropping, things going back and forth.
When you hear Taito, I know you think of Roston, but I think of Arkanoid. Like it's really.
Hey, I love Arkanoid too. I used to fight Doe in the arcade all the time.
I know. For me, it's really my favorite arcade game.
Wow.
Even not the favorite, but one of the favorites.
Do you kind of think of yourself as a Baus?
It's kind of the same as Space Invaders. Like before, they had a bunch of crappy sequels and remakes before and stuff. So this is kind of better than those, but still not super great because. Well, the first thing is that it fully uses both screens, and it uses the gap in between them.
The gap destroyed Yoshi's Island DS for you.
The hell off. It's kind of frustrating in Contra 4 also, but here it's also bad because you have a fixed field, and so you can keep up with the ball pretty easily. I think you know where it's going, right?
The thing is, in Space Invaders, that there's an option to set the distance between the gap. Like you could set it really thin or thick. You can't do that in Arkanoid.
I would guess that's because in Arkanoid you have bank shots and things going at angles, and it would be kind of weird to have a 45-degree angle all of a sudden jump up to the top screen. Whereas in Space Invaders everything's coming down at you, so I can kind of see that limitation. I mean, it's something I noticed, but it's not something that really detracted from the game for me. And I haven't really played that much of the single-player experience because most of what I've been doing has been multiplayer. It has single-card multiplayer, and it's pretty basic and fundamental, but it's really, really addictive because it'll give you different challenges. Instead of just saying who can clear this through the screen first, you have challenges to get rid of a certain kind of block first, and those blocks will be kind of hidden away. So there's a strategic element to the game that that I really like. And you can also kind of screw up people like you can in other puzzle games, where you'll cause stuff to appear, garbage to appear in the field.
But isn't Arkanoid missing what you really want, which is a paddle? Like, it's a paddle game, dude.
Yeah. What an amazing
Jeremy's
coincidence.
brandishing.
I
Give
have
it a
one.
spin. And you can use that on Space Invaders as well.
Yeah, this actually reminds me a lot of the paddle that was released with the NES version of Arkanoid. It has a really nice solid feel to it, and it just plugs right in and it works with both of the games. I actually like it better with Space Invaders than with Arkanoid because Space Invaders you're dealing with things that are shooting you, and there's like these 1 pixel tolerances, and this gives you so much precision over how you move. You can just duck out of the way of things. It's really a shame that Square Enix isn't bringing the paddle controller over. I realize they want to keep costs down, but
you think maybe a third-party peripheral manufacturer could?
I would hope maybe Hori could replace the Taito logo, and even if no one brings it over, it's still really inexpensive to import from Japan, and it works with any system from any region. So.
The price warrants mention here because Square Enix is kind of legendary for releasing expensive DS games.
The Square Enix tax.
Yeah, the Square Enix tax where everything's $40. Luckily, they wised up and made these games value priced. I mean, it makes them much more attractive.
Right, they're $20 each, and I think that is really it's hard to imagine spending $40 on a Space Invader game, and until you play this, and then you realize, wow, this is
a really
awesome.
good Space Invaders.
This is a great Space Invaders, but just the concept of paying $40 for a 30-year-old game is a little hard to swallow. But $20, that's easy.
I did play the first one, and I thought it was great. It seems like it's a mixture of so many game design elements that I love.
Personally, I'm not that happy with it. I think it's a unbalanced mix. You didn't think
Really?
Some levels were a little too long?
Well, I actually am more interested, instead of what I feel about it, I'm more interested in like, where do you feel that it's lacking? It's like, where do you think the changes needed to happen?
Speed, mostly.
Yeah.
I really think that Joachim, he has this vision that he was going for, and he succeeded at it.
Right.
And I think other people should look at that and realize that all it really takes, the dedication, the drive to complete it, and you can get there.
Right, the vision, yeah.
I can't believe that he did this whole thing himself.
That's
He did
amazing.
the art, he did the graphics, he did the sound, he did the programming. The entire thing was all a one-man project. And it looks like the kind of game that, it's very retro, it's very, 16-bit, 32-bit era. And this is the kind of game that would have taken a team of, 30 people, 15 people back in the day.
It's a little short is the problem. I tend to relate it more to Devil May Cry, I guess, where, the goal isn't to, or the best part of it isn't that it's a super long game. It's that, it's a game that's, 3-4 hours max, but the replayability is great because, I'm not going to spoil anything and say how many or who, but you get to unlock an extra character or two, and then you get to replay with these characters, and the way these characters play
completely different,
radically changes the way you go through the levels.
Right.
So
and if you're one of those like super elite score hounds, like the kind of person who always goes for like triple S in Devil May Cry, you're gonna always go for the A in this game too. So there's replayability there as well. On my second playthrough, playing as Zoda, I could actually get through the game in just under an hour, like the whole game. But it's so great. It's exactly the kind of thing that I will come back to again.
The gameplay in that way harks back to the old school Mega Man titles where, the goal, of course you're going to die.
Really? You died? I'm that good. I just didn't die.
I saw you with the A's, man. I like best score I got was a C. I love exploring the levels. And it doesn't quite cater to the exploration, You really want to pound through and zip through the levels as fast as you can, killing as many enemies as you can with each attack.
Because
basically what I like to do is make bosses. So
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So basically every level has at least 2 mini bosses.
The mouse pointer on there. How does that
Yeah,
work?
that was an idea I just wanted to try out, and I hope it works. It's basically a beat 'em up. I want it to be fast. So most games like this, you shoot, so it can be fast. Everything just flies around.
Right.
So with the mouse pointer, when you click on an enemy, you go directly to it and can start punching. So I like the melee aspect of it.
Cool.
I was a little worried at first that he was creating this new game, you know, this entirely new action style, but it works really well. I think it's the best mouse keyboard integrated, you know, action control I've seen.
The whole point is to build up your combos without getting hit, and so that it can grade you at the end. It's based partially on time, but it's also based on, you know, how skillful you are at clicking the mouse around. At the same time, you're using the WASD configuration. And I got really used to doing both at the same time and being able to pay attention to where my character was and where the cursor was. It becomes kind of like its own unique kind of skill set, even though it has this super retro style to it. I was actually really surprised at all the different control styles. It even changes control schemes when you're in the flying levels, the way that you draw from one enemy to another and like you're attacking like that, and that becomes a puzzle solving device as well as just a way to attack items or to attack enemies and bosses. So the bosses, they actually die really fast. You have to figure out their patterns in order not to die, but you can actually get through each boss battle a lot faster than you would think. But in order to kind of like fulfill that desire to play these awesome boss battles, he just has a lot of bosses.
A ton.
Like you just keep going like from one mini boss to a big boss to a couple more mini bosses.
I love it, man. He added, I mean, he took the mini boss concept that he solidified in the first one, and then he transferred it over to this like whole new action game. And it's great. The pacing is perfect with the, you know, the bosses are beautiful too, you know. The first time that broken robot comes out, you know, from the background and it starts clawing at you, I'm just like, God, this game is amazing. I can't believe one guy did this all. I mean,
know. I was really shocked at how good the music was too.
Amazing.
And he did that too. You know, it's not like he went out and got somebody else to do it. He did that too.
No.
I think this is a really prime example that the tools are available now for people who are super creative and individual game designers to just go out there and make it and do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that this game should be on DS. This game should be available now. I mean, it's $20 on his site, conejack.org. You know, people can just buy it, download it, play it, and they'll love it.
Your mama's so ugly she threw a boomerang and it never came back.
Your mama's so ugly the plastic surgeon sued her.
Your mama's so ugly they renamed Halloween Yo Mama Ween.
Your mama's so ugly she made a mime screen.
Ni mama hao show yang chong ya ke le.
Energy, focus, control. Amp energy, amp yourself.
Hey, how you doing? Simon, I'm not doing well. There's something going around, I'm telling you. One of the guys, I'm just hot, sweating. I just really don't feel good. I think, you know, I'm just gonna like battle through this weekend. I'm gonna try and come in on Monday, and then I don't know, I might take a turn for the worse. Tuesday, it's probably not gonna look good.
Wow, that's amazing that you can predict that with such accuracy.
Well, yeah, you know how you kind of feel like the way that flu is going, it's like a wave.
Like a wave. I think you missed your vocation. I think you should have been a weatherman.
Hey guys, hey, yeah, sorry, yeah, just something, I don't know, something must be going around because I feel like crap right now, like, I don't know, yeah.
Let me guess. You don't feel great right now. You can probably struggle through Monday. Not so much on Tuesday.
Monday,
not so much on Tuesday.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been this sick in a while. I don't know.
Well, it's an amazing coincidence that you guys are both getting sick just before the week that GTA comes out, on the Tuesday, in fact.
Unlucky.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Man.
Yeah. You must think I was born yesterday. Both of you are coming in next week. It's a big week. We've got lots to do. You're coming in. In fact, everybody's coming in. Nice try, wethead.
Well, I didn't realize GTA. Yeah, I was gonna maybe play it, but.
Are you coming in?
Yeah, doesn't look like you're gonna be here.
Well, I've got important business to do, business stuff, meetings. So I unfortunately won't be here. I won't be here as of Tuesday. Business stuff. You know.